Okay, welcome back. I want to talk today about like bikes, being a biker, who is being a biker for, like who should be riding motorcycles. And like, well, I want to start by saying, like, I was never the cool kid. Like, I was never the kid with, you know, sports bike posters on his bedroom wall, out on his push bike, or riding like dirt bikes, pit bikes, motocross bikes. Like, that was never me. I was the kid that was sat in the back of his dad's car on family trips, praying my Game Boy batteries would last the length of the car journey, and stuffing my face with Watsits. That was me. Yeah, I was into comic books and Power Rangers, and I was fat and unfit, and yeah, I was the nerdy kid. I had family who were bikers. My uncle, you know, he was the quintessential sort of 70s biker, long hair, denim, and put his cigarettes out in his jeans. You know, troublemaker as a kid, rebellious. A bit of a shit, to be honest with you. But like that lovable rogue, that was him. My cousin, he had like a Ninja 600 or 650, I forget, you know, and a bad attitude, and he was like following his father's footsteps with the bikes and stuff. That wasn't for me. That wasn't me. Like, I did not belong in that world. I didn't have anything in common with them at all, right? I had no interest. Hell, at that point, I wasn't even interested in cars. I had zero interest. But then, years later, I did my CBT, and I did it out of necessity. I was traveling back and forth to work, and it was just costing me a lot of money in fuel. So I thought, let's get a little 125, because it's cheaper on fuel, right? They do like crazy amount of the gallon. So I booked my CBT, and something clicked. You know, I struggled. I fucking struggled with the bike. I couldn't balance it for shit. I didn't learn to ride a push bike until I was like 12 years old, because I already struggled with balance. Being on a motorbike was alien for me. It was weird. It was very strange. But like, I stuck with it, and I gave it a go, and I completed my CBT despite the fact that I wheeled the bike into the roundabout and fell off. The examiner didn't see, so it was all good. You know, so like, yeah, I do my CBT, and something fundamental changed in my mentality at that point. I didn't realize it just yet, but it had begun to change, and I became quite excited about getting a bike. And I went to the Honda dealership, and I bought a Honda CBR 125. And it was the refresh model, so it was the bigger frame, the wider wheels, or wider tires. It was like the same size as a 250, basically. And I remember my dad took me down to pick up the bike. And I put all my kicks in. I bought all my gear from there at the same time, bought everything. And I picked up this bike, and I put all my gear. And it started to sort of make me feel a little bit excited. And I was like, oh, I kind of like this, you know, this feels quite cool. So I get on the bike, and like where the dealership was an area I knew really, really well. I'd driven there like hundreds of times. Like it was nothing new to me. I knew the area really well. But I get on this bike, and I am terrified, and I mean terrified. Like the nerves and the fear was just insane. And I remember my dad was in the car behind me. He was following me, and I don't think I got above 30 miles an hour. Right? That's about as quick as I went. And I'm like checking my rear view, and my dad's there's a huge queue of traffic behind, and you know, I'm proper panicking, and I'm like, what's going on? And all like sense and knowledge of the roads left my brain. Like I couldn't figure out where I was, I couldn't read road signs, I was really struggling. But all I remembered was my granddad lived not far, and for some reason I could remember my way to his house. It's the only route I could remember. So I rode to my granddad's house, and he had this like roundabout at the front of his house. We had to sort of turn around in the industrial estate, and it was like all gravelly, and I remember wobbly, and I was like, my feet slipping off the pegs, the back wheel going, because I was locking up the rear brake. And I eventually sort of stopped and managed to keep the bike upright and put the kickstand down outside his house. And my dad pulls in behind me, and he's like, "You alright?" I'm like, "Yeah, I thought I'd come and see, Grandcha." And went up and give him a knock, and he answered the door, big smile on his face. And we go in. So we sit there, we have a cup of tea, cup of coffee, whatever. I'm just chatting to him, and he's like, "Oh, so you got a bike?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, you got a bike?" And like, his son is my uncle, right? So he's like, "Oh, just like your uncle, blah blah blah," and we were chatting, and something then clicked in my head. Like, it properly clicked. Like, I realized I wasn't just like a guy on a bike. Like, I was a biker. Not a very good one, admittedly, but I was a biker. Like, I was actually a biker. Like, this is it. This is the start, right? And I had this big grin just sort of spread across my face when he said it. And I was like, yeah, I am. I'm just like my uncle. Like, I'm a biker. And the nerves sort of washed away. They sort of left me a little bit. There was that moment of realization. So anyway, we finish up. We didn't stay for long. I just needed something to calm myself, basically. I just needed a place to go to sort of chill out. So we go back outside, put my gear on, zip up my lid, and I turn to my dad and I'm like, "Right, I'm good now. You aren't going to worry about following me." He's like, "Oh, no, I'll follow you, it's fine." I was like, "Alright, cool." And bear in mind, I'm on a 125, so I can't really go particularly quick. But I'm like, "Alright, cool, whatever. You do you, but like, don't worry about it, right?" So we pull out of my granddad's estate and head back, and like, clarity is just there. It's just present in my mind. Like, suddenly I remember my way home. I'm confident in the road again. I mean, it's still a little bit terrifying, and like, as I start getting up to speeds of 40-50 miles an hour, it's like insane. Like, it really starts to make me sort of go, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?" But I'm excited. Like, I'm super excited now. And we head off, and there's traffic lights, and the confidence comes from nowhere, and I'm just like, I'm gonna filter. So my dad started traffic, and I just filtered to the front and pop off, and like, nip, off I go. And I just remember, like, under my helmet, this massive grin on my face. Like, I'm smiling right now, and I remember the feeling. And I was like, I filtered. Like, I did a biker thing, and I was over the moon. I was so happy, because I was now riding like, a proper biker. And I rode home, and I couldn't wait to get back and, like, show my mum the bike and like tell her about my ride home. And I beat my dad home, and he was like, "Oh, I lost you, you were gone." I was like, "Yeah," like, it was so much fun. And like, to this day he still worries about me being on the bike, which is understandable. They're dangerous, right? It's a motorcycle, they are. But I just remember at that point I was like, "Oh my god, like, this is incredible. Thank you, Mr. Sheep." And from that moment on, something fundamentally changed in my brain chemistry, because I started to become so much more confident. Like, so much more confident. My confidence just grew. And I don't really know how to explain why, but like it did. It started to really grow, and I remember sitting there going, I'm a proper biker. Like this is I'm a biker. It's not about, you know, who a motorbike's for. Like, it's not about the attitude or the leathers or any of this. It's about that sense of freedom. It's about that feeling of when you look in front of you and you see the road just open up, and you pin the throttle and you head off into the distance. Or when you're in places like this and you've got this beautiful countryside and scenery all around you, you've got like ruins and animals and trees and mountains, and like it's about that sense of adventure and exploration. And I've said it multiple times before, but really that freedom, and the freedom can mean many different things to many different people. It could be the mental freedom from your problems and your troubles. Like, they don't go away, but it gives you a break from them because you're focused on the road, on the ride. And that's when it really started to click for me. Like, riding motorcycles is for everyone and anyone who's looking for that freedom and that sense of adventure. That's who it's for. It doesn't matter if you're the fat nerdy kid or the popular guy or, you know, the 5'0" girl who thinks that bikes are too big for them. Like, it's not about that. It's about, what do you want? What are you looking for in life? Are you looking for that freedom, that sense of adventure, that excitement? Or are you looking for monotony? And if you're looking for that freedom, that sense of adventure, then riding bikes is for you. 100%. Like, go get a bike, go do your CBT, go get a motorcycle. Like, you will not regret it. You will thoroughly enjoy and love every single minute of it. Yes, it's going to be scary and nerve-wracking and daunting, and it's going to challenge you, and it's going to probably push you outside of your comfort zone dramatically, but you will grow so much. So much. So I thoroughly encourage anyone, if you love like that sense of freedom and adventure, and you really want to get out there and explore, get a bike. You won't regret it. I've seen so many new things, and I've done so many things I would never have done had I have not put up a motorcycle. So, from one guy to potentially an audience of, you know, thousands of people. I mean, not based on my subscriber count, but you know, I'm sure they're out there. Just go do it. You'll love it. Anyway, that's enough waffle. I'm in the Pennines and I fully intend on enjoying myself. So have a great day, and I will see you in the next video once I conquer this incredibly steep hill. Laters.